Hi guys, hi Evolvers. Happy Fabulous Friday. It's Daymond. I'm here at Perimeter Zen on this wonderful Fabulous Friday. I have some work to do because what I'm doing is I just completed a project for a client. It's an invitation design. And I'm excited about it. Every time I have invitation designs, it's so strange. It excites me because what people don't know is that almost everything I do has literally started from me doing invitation design. It's the strangest thing. It always brings up memories every time I do an invitation design. Then I feel like I have to do like an inspirational moment so that people can start piecing together what's really been going on, in my life and how I've been able to pull a lot of things together. I used to do invitation design a long time ago. And so what I'm doing today is, before I deliver the product to the client, I had wanted to get some really nice photos of the invitation design. The reason why I'm looking down is because I'm looking at the invitation design on this white paper because I'm going to take a photo of it. So let me show you the invitation design. Here it is. Yeah, I don't know how well you see that. I'm trying to see if I can focus in there. Yeah, there's the invitation design there. And what I'm gonna do is, it's a box that I was asked to design, and you'll see some better pictures of it. But I wanted to share that with you because I'm actually gonna give you another little inspirational moment as I move on through the day. So again, happy Fabulous Friday. Let me cut the video right here and then I'll talk to you from the other side of the room. All right. Hey, I'm back. So I'm talking to you from the other side of the room. I was just over there. But yeah, I was talking to you about invitation design. I really just wanted to do this inspirational moment today and then show you this invitation design because, as I explained to you before, invitation design is actually something that has really gotten me to the point that I am at today. So I've always been like a very, very creative person. I've always had a business mindset. I've always been, technically inclined and creatively driven. You hear me say that all the time. That's just part of my brand. But one of the things that actually has really helped me to get to where I am and really own who I am as a creative person has been invitation design, would you believe that or not? And I like to share this story just to inspire people because you never know where you're gonna end up until you embrace who you are first, right? I just had, another magnificent mogul that got dropped. If it just FYI, I'm working with a friend of mine. Her name is Tina, and we have a Roku and Amazon TV channel that we're working on developing. There's a video up there that actually has a magnificent mogul video on it. And anytime you want to just hear more about, what I'm doing or what Tina is doing in these upcoming months, just go to RDM, Real Drama Media, on Roku and Amazon TV, download the channel, and get to looking at that episode of Magnificent Mogul. But, Tina asked me during that interview, because normally I'm interviewing the guests that I have on Magnificent Mogul. We decided to interview each other. So one of the questions that came up, she asked me, when did you know that you were creative? And I remember, I thought that was just the perfect question for her to ask me because we never sat down and had that conversation. And I remember mentioning to her, I always knew I was creative since I was 5 years old. Like there was, since I don't know, since I could just like walk, I knew that I was creative, right? And I always had stuff that I was trying to get out of me creatively. Like I remember my mom was always trying to pull it out of me, because we were heavily in the church. So I was always like working with her on posters and backdrops and all of that for church plays and all of that kind of stuff. I was always sketching. Like when I got bored in class, I remember just always sketching, drawing. competing with some of my classmates in grade school, like who could draw the best. I remember we used to do that. And, I just got busy with school, went to engineering school, got my physics degree, electrical engineering degree. But in the back of my mind, I've always wanted to remain creative. And so even when I moved to Dallas, one of the first things I did was I started a business called Divine Designs by Daymond. And that was all because of invitation design. Like, let me show you. So I think this invitation is just absolutely beautiful, right? And what's beautiful about it is that it completely, let me just go closer where the light is probably blinding you, so I need to pull back. One of the beautiful things about this invitation is just how detail oriented that it is. Like everything about this did not come from a company. Well, it did come from a company. It came from a Daymond Company creative. But I was asked by this client to do something very special because they've been impacted by COVID. They can't go on a cruise. Just for safety reasons, they decided to forego the cruise. They're just gonna do a staycation at their lovely home, and then we're gonna just bring the vacation time to the home, right? So I was asked to design that invitation, and that's what I came up with. And you can see that it has like a pendant, and there's a shell pendant dangling from it. There's ribbon work, there's layered creative paperwork in there. And that's all me, just pulling the design together based on the conversation that I had with her. It's a lot easier these days, but it wasn't always so easy, right? And I want to let you all know how this started. I remember when I was in New Orleans, and so before I moved to Dallas, before I had Divine Designs by Daymond, I remember I was embarking on my career. I was becoming Daymond, right? I was doing what I was supposed to do. I had gotten out of school, got my degree, got my job with corporate, with the corporate entity, that I'm still working with to this day. Got my job, but then in the back of my mind, I felt like I needed to balance, because as soon as I entered that technical career, I quickly learned that that wasn't enough for me to maintain what I would consider my own sanity. And if you're a creative person like I am, you can identify with this. You know that you are not satisfied unless you are creating. Like creative personalities, they have to operate in this space where they have flexibility to create things. Otherwise, it's just pent up energy, and that can become really negative, right? Because if you can't express your creativity, it's gonna come out in just a negative way. So I decided to, go out one day with one of my friends. He was planning this big party, this big hoopla, right? It was a milestone birthday party celebration for a dear loved one. And I remember my friend was like, "Oh, I'm so ready. Are y'all coming to the party?" I'm like, "Yeah, we're coming to the party. We're going to the party." It's like, "I'm so ready. I got everything ready for this party." It's like, I know what we're gonna eat. We're gonna eat some fabulous food. I know how the house is gonna be decorated. Look, y'all, you know what to wear. Y'all all need to wear white. It's a white party, so I know what the attire is gonna be. I know what the decoration is gonna be. I know what everything is gonna be, except I don't know what I'm gonna do about these doggone invitations. I just, I feel like everything is just together. I don't know what I'm gonna do about the invitation. Now keep in mind, this is before I was even really operating in my creative space, but I've always been a creative. So it's like, I just don't know where I'm gonna get the invitation. And it's like something landed in my spirit. And I said, "Oh, I can do your invitations." It's like, and when I think about that moment to this day, I don't remember volunteering that answer. It was almost like that answer came through me. When I think about it to this day, I feel like that answer came through me because of where I was, where my mentality was at that time. And my mentality was, I need to operate in creative space, and I'm looking for any opportunity to be creative. And there was an inner voice inside of me just yearning for creativity. And that was it. I volunteered for the job. I would never do that today. Like, I don't even have the bandwidth to just volunteer for stuff, unless an invoice is attached. But I remember just offering that and volunteering. And then when I walked away from my friend that day, I didn't feel comfortable because I had realized that I had volunteered for something that I had absolutely no idea how I was gonna pull it off. So I spent the next week trying to think of a concept in my head while I went to work, while I went to my day job. And then by the time the Friday came around, I'm like, okay, I gotta go shopping for this invitation design. Spent about 2.5 hours in the store. Again, if you're a creative person, you can identify with this, because when you're creating something from scratch, it takes you time to pull your material together. You know that. You know that. You will literally spend, before you know it, you're shopping for your material, you're at your supply store, you're going back and forth, you're pacing up and down the aisle, right? And before you know it, you're in that store for 45 minutes, or you're in that supply shop for 45 minutes, and you're just landing on your first or second decision of how you're gonna pull this product together. And so I spent, like, I don't know, about a couple hours in the store. Still hadn't had all the materials that I needed. Had to end up going back to the store a couple times. And I remember when I started the invitation design, oh my God, I started at night after, I was settled. And I remember working on this invitation design until 3:30 in the morning. And there was a point, by the time 1:30 came around, I almost wanted to have a breakdown, because it was like, I can't believe that I promised my friend this invitation design. I don't know how I'm gonna pull it off. I'm trying to make these cuts. I'm trying to cut the paper. I'm trying to get the lines on the invitation right. I'm trying to get the wording right. I keep making mistakes. And it seems like it just wasn't coming together. So I almost had a breakdown. If you see this, my friend, he knows what I'm talking about. I know you're gonna laugh because you didn't even know this. I almost had a breakdown. It wasn't a mental breakdown. I mean, I almost started crying, because I was like, I volunteered for this thing and I'm not gonna be able to do it for my friend. And it felt really bad. I felt really bad. And then I just pulled myself together and I said, no, this is what I said I was gonna do, and I know that I can do this, and I'm gonna create this invitation, and it's gonna be the best thing that I've ever done. I remember thinking that it's gonna be the best thing that I've ever done, and when he gets this invitation, he's gonna see this is the best thing that I've ever done, right, creatively. By the time 3:30 came around, I finally felt comfortable, because I had pulled myself together and I had finished the invitation design, and I could finally lay myself down and go to sleep. And I went to sleep. And I remember, the next day was delivery time. I had to go meet my client, my friend, my client. And so I had packaged the invitations up. It was 40 invitations. They were all done. I'm very meticulous. They all looked the same. I made sure, like, as I was doing them, I was comparing them one by one. I was like, does this one look like this one? Does this one look like this one? So literally all the invitations looked the same, like they come off a production line. And I went to my friend. I remember delivering them to him. And at that point, I was like, the job is done. I know they look good. They're wonderful invitations, but I didn't really think it was anything special, right? I just thought I finished the invitation design. And when he opened those invitations up, he said, oh my God, did you make these? And I said, yeah, I made them. I said I was up all night making them, but I made your invitation design. Do you like them? He's like, oh my God, yes. I love these invitations. I love them. And I just remember right after that, he said, hold up. And then he walked away. And then I saw him pull out his checkbook. And then he said, okay, let me write this check to you. Sorry, my phone was ringing. So I remember saying, I don't know how much I want for these invitations. He's like, okay, well, I'm just gonna continue writing the check, okay? So he handed me the check, and I looked at the check, and the check was like $120. I was like, oh wow, oh wow. And I thought to myself, thank you, because I think I just found a business for myself. And then I thanked my friend, and I had the best time of my life at that party. But I really took that to heart because what had happened, and this is the lesson that I want you to get out of all of this that I'm sharing with you right now. What I took from that moment is that my talent is valuable. And that was something that I said on Magnificent Mogul. If you go to watch that episode on RDM, when you go to Roku and Amazon TV, for the first time, because I had begun to, know who I am and know what I can do, and I was on the, right on the forefront of learning how to appreciate who I was and who I was becoming. I also learned how to value what I had to offer to the world when that happened to me. And from that point forward, I made a vow to myself that I would always be proactive in moving forward and in appreciating who I am and in valuing what I had to offer, right? And it was all because I opened myself up for that, and I allowed myself and I allowed the universe literally to speak through me, because I tell you, actually that was almost a spiritual experience for me, because I literally felt like I was not the one talking when I said I could do this for you. That was my soul saying, I want to do something to speak to my purpose. That was my soul doing that. So on this fabulous Friday, I really hope that this story was very inspirational to you. I can't wait to meet my client and show her these images. She's already seen the pictures of these. You're gonna see pictures of these. And her idea of what she's gonna do with these boxes, it just seems like they're just gonna be fabulous. I know when people walk in and get the invitation and get the surprise that's gonna come inside, I know they're just gonna love it. But and I mean, now I don't really advertise doing invitation work, so this is not a plug for invitation work. I only do that by on request. But if you are interested in invitation design, you could always contact me. Other than that, I'm really here in this moment on video talking to you now for inspiration. So again, I'm Daymond with Daymond Company. Technically a client, creatively driven. I exist to inspire. You can visit me online at daymondco.com. So DAYMONDCO.com. Or you can visit me at Plurapreneur.com. PLUPRENEUR.com. Plurapreneur.com. All right. Again, happy Fabulous Friday.